A social media manager is kind of like an actor. We have to pretend to be all these different business owners, right? We have these different voices, these different characters that we play online, and it's really artistic. It's really fun.
Because when you specialize, then you can charge more money and you can become known as the person who is the expert in that area.
Make sure that you stay true to who you are and that the kind of video that you like.
On episode 345 of the podcast, we are talking about how to repurpose your content for you, not only for your clients, but for you and your clients, how to use storytelling effectively for social media. And then my guest, Dorien, shares a pretty epic strategy for staying top of mind and getting booked using LinkedIn. You're gonna wanna hear this. You ready to grow? Let's go. What's up, friends? Hey, welcome to this episode. Man, I've always wanted like a little saying, and I'm probably not keeping that. Are you ready to grow? Let's go. But I thought it was fun anyway. Hey, I'm so glad that you're here. If you're a corporate or commercial filmmaker and you feel like you're in a spot in your business where you want to take your business more seriously, you're tired of just working in your business and doing all of the tasks and getting overwhelmed and not having a clear plan and a process for how to grow this thing, how to scale it, how to be more profitable, how to keep more of the money that you're making and enjoy the work, because it can be enjoyable, but it can be very, very frustrating. These are the kinds of topics that we talk about, the business of production. I'm not going to be the one that says hey, if you go buy this camera, use this lens, and you get a more cinematic look, you're going to book more higher end clients. I don't know. I mean, at some level, sure, yeah, but if you want to do this for a really long time, if you love this business, you got to learn a lot more than storytelling techniques and editing techniques, and you got to have more than just good gear. A lot of how do I sell? How do I add value? How do I create something that can last? And that's what I want to help you do. I've been doing this business for the last 18 years. I started educating filmmakers about 7 years ago, formally, in the form of this podcast and online courses and all sorts of things. So I'm super glad that you're here. If this is your first time, welcome. If you're back, welcome back. If it is your first time here, I have a gift for you. It's my 6-figure filmmaker workshop. This is where I take my 18 years of experience of all the mistakes, the trials, the things that I've learned, and the things that have helped me, and I've packaged them into a workshop that you can watch and apply. These are applicable things. There's not a lot of fluff. It's do these things, and this should help you get closer to and hopefully go above and beyond 6 figures in your business. You can access that workshop just by going to studiosherpas.com/workshop. See what I did there? Watch the workshop by going to studiosherpas.com/workshop. Okay, that's all I've got for right now, but I got more to tell you at the end of this episode. So let's roll the tape, and it's gonna be great. What's up, friends? Hey, welcome to another episode. Today, I've got with me Dorien Morin-van. Dorien is a leading expert in organic social media and content. She's been doing this for over 12 years. She's a certified social media manager and agile marketer. She is well-versed in the latest techniques and best practices for driving engagement and results through organic social media. Dorien, I hope you help us with all of the things social, because when you're talking to people in the world of video, we like to do video, and we like to not have to sell ourselves, and we don't have time to do social media. So please help us. How can you help us today? Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. This is great. No pressure, right? Thanks, Ryan. It's going to be all on me.
Yeah. And if we fail, then, we'll just, what's your email address again? No, I'm just teasing. I wouldn't have you on this show if I didn't believe that this was an important topic. And, for the people that follow along to this show, they've heard my struggles and my own frustrations with social media for so long. And it really wasn't until last year at the event that we met each other down in Lima, Ohio, where spending more time with Jessica and her team, I realized that it was ready for us to try this relationship marketing thing and actually create content on social on a regular basis to build our influence. And it's definitely the long game. But I've had numerous people comment on, like, in person when I see them. They kind of like, dude, you're like posting all the time, and I'm like, oh, we are. I'm like, oh, this is great. So, but staying top of mind, super, super important. What kind of are you working mostly with clients that are like, oh yeah, it's a no brainer. We know we should be doing. We are doing social. We just don't have the time to do it. What's the barometer of the majority of people that you're working with?
I've gone through all of that.
Yeah.
So I started out, I lived in South Carolina when I started my business almost 13 years ago. My youngest, who now is first year college, started kindergarten. And I was like, okay, what am I going to do with my time, right? So I started doing local social media, help for local businesses. So it really was, hey, let's connect to offline what you're doing to the online world. And I would literally just spend time setting up Twitter and setting up Facebook pages and Facebook groups and really basic things initially. Yeah. And then I did a lot of networking, which was really fun because I've been a stay-at-home mom and really not connected to the professional world. So I started networking and met some agency owners. And I had this interesting exchange with somebody who literally was, asking 4 times as much money as I was for what I was doing. And I realized that by moving over one state, I could get a lot more money. Goodness. So it kind of opened my world to scaling. And so started working for several agencies, doing some different work for them, was able to charge more, but also got into B2B, which was very interesting. Plumber, HVAC, businesses like that, home security, home theater installation. So that was a whole different beast than the local mom and pop restaurant. And so now I went into community management. So now I'm really working with a lot of solopreneurs or coaches, people who have maybe a small team of freelancers. And I am that marketer on the team that might help with, somebody might do the email piece, somebody might do the course, some of these either writing books or having courses, but they need that marketer on the team. So I fulfill that role as content manager where I take care of their blog or their podcast and then use that content to put it all out and blanket social media with it, kind of what you were describing you were doing since you went to Lima, Ohio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's excellent. What part of that work is the most fulfilling or the most exciting for you?
The ideas. Working with a client, and I just had a strategy session with a new client, and I have this whole list of questions. We turn on the Zoom recording, and I just throw the questions at her. I'm like, I'm not going to write anything down. Just whatever pops into your head. And she's telling me about her business and I'm learning things and all these ideas. So she's talking, the camera's recording and I'm scribbling ideas for content because I already know I'm going to use this, I'm going to use that, because they're telling me the stories and the passion of their business shines through when the business owner talks to me. So I think sweet spot is diving into somebody's business and understanding what makes them thrive in their business and why they started the business, and then translating that into content to put out online to attract the right clients for them.
And what are you seeing that is working especially well today? Because I know it's like changes like minute by minute, I feel like.
So being authentic, storytelling, behind the scenes look. I work with somebody who is a 3-time cancer survivor, and 30 years ago on July 4th, she was told she had 2 weeks to live. And so we wrote a post, she's alive, and telling the story of why, because it's connected to the business she has. She started a business because of that diagnosis. So tying those things together, that's, I think, super exciting, being able to tell the stories. And years and years ago, somebody said to me, a social media manager is kind of like an actor. And I've never wanted to go into acting, but I kind of always thought, well, maybe I would be a good actor. But we have to pretend to be all these different business owners, right? We have these different voices, these different characters that we play online. And it's really artistic. It's really fun to do that. And I do love the graphic design. I'm not a graphic designer. I'm a social media designer. I always tell people that I will design anything for social media. Please don't put it on a flyer or get it printed, on your car. It will look good enough for social media, and it's great, and it's professional. But if you need something printed or a book cover or, that, you need to go to a graphic designer. But I'm a graphic designer for social, and I love doing that. I love making people happy and working with clients and going, let's move this here and do that and make things pop. And it's just really fun. The creative part is really fun, having that outlet.
Yeah, it's so good. I'm wondering, even as you were talking about the strategy session that you have with your clients, you're recording that. Do you ever get to repurpose that as content? Because I feel like you would get some very authentic, neat moments and neat little sound bites in that.
Yeah, I've never repurposed the sound bites because it's really, I write it up as a report. And then, on top of that, of course, there's the competitors analysis and the audit and all these other pieces. But that's an interesting idea because definitely that passion comes through when I ask them, who is your most profitable client? Who is your most loyal client? Who are you trying to get as a client? What are you offering? Why are you unique? Why did you start your business? All of those questions, and they just talk. So that's an interesting idea to use that as a soundbite, as an audiogram.
Yeah, I mean that's the work that we do, right? I'm going to sit across from a client and interview them and ask all those questions. But for the idea is that the end result would be video. And I feel like whenever we do pre-interviews, so sometimes we'll call our clients and just have a chat with them, a week or a few days or whatever before their interview, just to kind of get a sense of who they are. And sometimes it's like the biggest gold nuggets come in those moments where, there's no bright lights, there's no big cameras or anything like that. And it's like, oh, I wish we would have captured that. But even, today I feel like you can get away with Zoom quality video and Zoom quality audio, even though I personally hate Zoom quality audio. But you can get away with that. I mean, if it's a good piece of content, right? It's about the story, it's about the emotion, and that stuff comes through powerfully.
Absolutely. Well, I was going to use it for quotes and for me to do the research, to some of the things she said were just, I was connecting the dots as she was talking. This is a completely new industry for me. And that's the other part. Not only am I acting and pretending to be, this character or this business owner or this business online, I'm also diving into a lot of different industries. And this is culinary medicine. This is a whole different industry that I haven't been in. Of course, I've been, in restaurants, and I said B2B, and, everything feels like in between. One interesting one that I used as a case study with a friend once was a funeral director. Now it'd be interesting to see if we could market a funeral home, right? It's kind of a weird thing to say, but, there are people every day that are looking online for the right funeral home to fit their needs at that time. And it's usually not something, or a lot of people don't think about it ahead of time. Some people do. They shop around, and be interesting to see what kind of content you can come up with. We've done that as a Ask Me Anything. You throw an industry at us and us see if we can come up with some content. It's a fun game. And, but that's really where I think my strength is. I have a lot of ideas and, think of words and images that go with that and telling the stories.
Yeah. I think that was one of the things I was most nervous about when hiring somebody to kind of take on our voice. I was like, man, I feel like I'm pretty unique, and my humor is kind of unique and annoying. And to have somebody be able to pick up my voice, I'm like, I just don't think that can be done. And that was, I think, one of the most surprising things. Eric, who's doing our stuff over at Now, he does such a great job. I mean, I read the stuff and I'm like, oh yeah, that's how I would say that. And he gets emotional when he needs to, and then he gets silly and I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm not as unique as I thought I was. My voice can be mimicked by somebody else.
Well, I mean, maybe he's just really good at reading you, or he spent a lot of time with you, which are both the requirements. One of my very first clients was a local cleaning company in South Carolina, and both owners were from the UK. And I just could not get that voice right. So I finally said to them, look, I'm going to call you at different times a day. And when you pick up the phone, I'm going to record it because I need to see how you say hello, how you welcome somebody. I need to, and this was I don't even know if I had a smartphone at that time, 13 years ago. I might have, but I certainly wasn't using it for video.
Yeah.
And now I would just say, I'm going to record you, just say hello. But I would call them and listen to how they said hello and how they spoke to their customers in order to get that voice right, because that was really unique and really hard.
Yeah, so good. But also, I think my encouragement is for anybody who is considering like, I have to do it because it's got to be in my voice. People that are really good, Dorien being one of them, can that's just what they do. It can be done. In the world of blogging, I know this is like one of your specialties. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Back in 2007, 2008, 2009, I was blogging, I was filming weddings back then, and I would try to blog like every wedding because every wedding was an opportunity for SEO for the venue that we were at and the different vendors that we worked with. And man, my blog, like we would get tons and tons of views and shares, and it was great because you got big wedding parties and families, and everybody would want to share the stuff around. So there was just an easy shareability factor there. Then we transitioned to corporate storytelling in 2012, and I thought it would work the same, and it totally didn't. And so I was like, okay, I can't keep trying to figure out how to learn this. And this is a bunch of years later. I mean, we're in 2023. I was blogging back in like 2007. That's 16 years or something like that. Is blogging still, is it effective? I need you to convince me that it is. Is it?
So yes, I actually have a 1-year case study. One of my clients that I signed last year, she's a divorce lawyer. Mm-hmm. And she's a local divorce lawyer she covers 3 counties. And so she was blogging on her own and had been for quite a while, but she wasn't putting all the keywords together and she wasn't using the right keywords for people to find her. She's a very specialized family law lawyer. And so we started really diving into who she wanted to serve. We got 4 buckets. We started doing 1 blog a week, 1 in each of these buckets. We connected Google Console. We connected Google Analytics. We started doing Pinterest, which is really great for every blog that's out there. There's 5 pins, and everything together has really, she had 1,000 organic searches that landed on her website this month. We're a year in. Last year it was 100. So that's huge because it's volume. The more people land on our website, the more people will schedule a consultation. And for every 10 consultations, she gets 3 new clients, 2 to 3.
Wow.
So it's a volume game and it's a long game. You have to know who you want to target. You have to know what your end game is. What do you want people to do? So every blog article ends with, schedule a phone call or schedule a consult or, learn more, but it all goes to the exact same button and the exact same screen. Mm-hmm. And so we can see conversions. We're doing, and now with AI and you're blogging, there's a lot of tools out there that let you not just backlink, but forward link, which actually really is helping, right? So, because say you write something about video production in 2017, and then in 2018, you write something, 2019, usually when you write something new, you check, I have an older article. But when do you ever go to your old article and go forward?
Right.
That's a lot of work. Well, AI, there's tools out there now that will say, I get like a weekly task list from this AI tool. And that says, this article, go to these 5 articles and link this new article to these 5 old articles. And I've been consistently doing it. And we've gotten a lot of impressions. Her website is really going up in ranking because everything is not just backlinked, but forward linked. So with these new tools and new technology out there, SEO is definitely still very, very valuable. She is not doing video. We're trying to get there. It's a sensitive subject of what she does law about. So we're trying to figure that out. Plus, with law, I think other industries too, it's really waning and waving, like right now she's really busy with the clients that she got in February and March. And then, in the fall, she might get another wave of clients, right, when she's ready to do more. So we're trying to adjust to all of those things, but absolutely blogging, if you want to get more people to your website because you're selling something or you want consults, it's absolutely working. What's not working, and everybody has it turned off, like, I don't know if you remember 2007, 2009, we were all commenting on each other's blogs. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Because you got a backlink to your own blog if you did that. Like, that was the big thing.
That was powerful. Yeah.
Nobody's doing that. And nobody, like, you have to turn it off because it's just spam bots. So nobody's commenting on anybody's blogs anymore. But because we're sharing it so many different ways on social, the comments are on social media and people will still share some of these articles. And the other thing that people are doing, if you have a blog, if I say this to my client, if you can just write a blog, I will take care of all the rest of your social media. Because from the blog, think about what you can make. You can do audiograms, you can do videos, you can do quotes, you can do images, you can do an infographic, you can do statistics, you can make a series, there is so many different things. So if they can just commit to one a week or even twice a month, if that's a piece of content they can help me produce, because if they do most of the writing and it's their expertise, it's better than if I have to do the research, then I can take it from there. So it's very, very valuable and absolutely can work. But you do really have to hone in on the keywords you want, who are the people you want to attract. If you say video production and you just use that as a keyword for everybody, that's a whole big wild world out there. You probably have to hone in the long tail keyword that you really want to rank for a little bit more than that, and then just create the content for that. And then you probably have heard, and your listeners might know the name Marcus Sheridan. For years, he's written that book, They Ask You Answer. It's the strategy I use for every single one of my blogging clients. When I start with them, I go, any question that comes in on email, via phone, any which way, somebody asks you a question about your business, put it in one spot and share that list with me. That's going to be the basis of most of the content we're going to start with. They ask you, answer your questions on your blog. And that's really powerful too, because then you give them exactly what people want. And you can, when a second person or a 10th person has the same question, you go, I've got a blog for that, and send them right there.
That's powerful. We do an FAQ video series that we offer to our clients, but that keeping a running log of that, it's just like content, right? It's just like ongoing content. And whenever people come onto our list, we're asking them, hey, what are you struggling with? What are you frustrated with? And there's opportunity for content there. There's lots of good ways. I'm so glad that you did bring up the idea of, essentially we're talking about niching here. If you just create blog articles or YouTube videos or whatever content and your keywords are video production, holy cow. We know that could mean anything. It's like the list is massive, and you should try to figure out like what's a space that you want to own. And Dorien, even you saying like, we'll whittle this down to 4 different buckets or different areas. So it's just so smart. And if people are searching video production, I don't want to come up if they're just searching video production. But if they're searching, video production, brand, film, Michigan, man, I better be number 1, right? The more focused that you can identify the kind of work that you want to be doing, create that kind of content, show those kinds of videos on the front page of your website. Don't just be a video generalist, but specialize, because when you specialize, then you can charge more money and you can become known as the person who is the expert in that area. Man.
And there are still plenty of people in that area. That I think people are worried when they're niching down that, there's not going to be enough people there. But think about it. If you want to rank for running shoes, you're not going to outrank Nike or Brooks or whoever. I run in Brooks running shoes. But if you were to niche down into, running shoes for difficult feet, or men's running shoes were, big size, or children's running shoes, cross-country runners, right? So those are all different niches. And if you were to blog about those issues and those long tail keywords, then you would start ranking from that. And the more you interweave that content with each other, right? The same sort of content that all is connected, the better your blog will rank for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so good. What about video inside of blogs? I've written a handful of blogs over the last like 3 or 4 months, and I've thought about just taking what we write and throwing that into ChatGPT and saying like, hey, write me a video script, and then showing up and doing the video script for that.
Yeah, so we know that Google owns YouTube, right? And so why not do both, right? So if your main product, I ask my clients, you want a podcast, do a video, or blog, right? So there's one main product, but it doesn't mean you can't do the others. So if their main product is a video that's going to go onto YouTube, definitely get the transcript, put the transcript on the website and embed the video from YouTube in there. Then all you need to do, even though the transcript's there, you still want an opening and a closing paragraph, which is very easy. You know, ChatGPT could do that for you, or you could just write it and tell the story why you interviewed this person or why you made this video. But then on YouTube, link to the blog, and on the blog, link to YouTube. So you want to go both ways. And that's that forward and backwards linking. That's really important. If you didn't want to put the whole video in there, you could do video snippets, right? You can do little pieces in there. Or like you said, take the transcript from that video and then re-record a little nugget of it. Or, you know, if you didn't want to do the same thing and say, hey, I just did this video on YouTube. It was an amazing interview. And these are the three, almost like an intro you would do on a podcast. Yep. Right? And do a video intro and put that on your blog. People love it. And the secret to video on your blog is that people stay longer. And the longer they stay, the higher your website gets ranked. So it's better if people stay longer. That's why right now, long articles do really well. I'm writing articles between 2,500 and 4,000.
Wow.
Words. Yeah. A lot of words. A lot of words. So they do better, and the longer they stay, the better it is for SEO. And there's a whole, science behind that as well. But having video on there would keep them there longer as well. So absolutely.
Very interesting. What about the person that says, "Oh, I don't have time to do this"?
Where, to do what?
Well, to take on, you start talking about social media strategy. It's like, okay, strategy. What's enough for somebody to get started? Like if somebody said, okay, maybe I could carve out some time, whether it's I'm like batch, writing and creating and planning and whatever, once a month or once a week. Where would you recommend somebody to get started?
So if you're a business owner, if you're a small team of 1 or 2, and you want to get into social media and you literally have done nothing, I'm going to tell you, go to LinkedIn, work with a social media specialist or your best friend, whoever that is, update your profile, get the creators mode turned on, and start following hashtags that are in your niche. So for me, it would be social media strategist, social media trends, whatever it is. And then every day, 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes at night, find content and comment on it. I'm not even telling you to create content. I'm not even telling you to create videos or doing anything. By commenting on other people's content, you will be seen. That's the first step to up-leveling yourself as a thought leader in that sphere. And don't leave like, oh, great video, actually watch the video and say something, right? That's step 1. Step 2 would be, connecting to some of these people. And step 3 would be starting to create content as a rebuttal to the stuff that you're reading or watching. And then you can come up with your own strategy. But if you can do 5 comments a day or 5 comments twice a day, it will change the way people see you, find you. It makes you visible on the LinkedIn platform. And if you're a team of 1 or 2 people, that's pretty powerful. If the 2 of you are both on LinkedIn and both talking and getting in that thought leadership space, it could be super powerful. And that's not a free way, but almost a free way to get started. So that's what I would recommend. And once you like it and once you connect with new people and you have fun and you find your community on LinkedIn, the world is open. You can do anything you want. But that's a great way to dip your toe in and to get started. That's what I would recommend to somebody who doesn't have any presence, who doesn't like social media, because LinkedIn's pretty fair and people on LinkedIn are pretty nice and kind. There's some crazy stuff going on, but nothing like we see on Twitter or, petty things on Facebook or, LinkedIn is for the most part pretty professional, and it's a good way to connect with colleagues. And you can start a newsletter or do other things, but I would say just start with commenting on people within your industry and people that you want to meet, and start commenting on their content.
Yeah, so good. That is a great nugget. What about newsletters in LinkedIn? Like, are you pushing blog? Like, we still haven't done one of these, but are you writing stuff from scratch for those, or are you just pulling from content that you already have? What are you seeing that
So I've done all of it, and I can tell you where I see things happening. I was very consistent. I started a newsletter in November of 2021, and I carried it all the way through till July. I had, I think, over 2,000 subscribers. I did it every week. I was kind of in this bit, not all the way in the beginning, but pretty early on adopter. So I definitely got people to see it. It coincided with my live show starting. So they had the same name, Strategy Talk. So now I have a podcast, now I have a newsletter, and then life just got busy and I stopped doing it. But I've helped several clients with that same structure. So I have one client right now who has a team member who does a weekly email, and only if it's the right fit do we repurpose it on her LinkedIn page as a newsletter. Another client has a newsletter that's kind of like a repurposed content, or it's like thought leadership. She reads one book, listens to one podcast, and reads one blog, and then talks about it all within the same theme. And that's her newsletter. Hey, if you want to learn about this topic. And so we have the structure set up with the template. So it's really drop and go for her. Like, this is the book, this is the podcast, this is the blog, these are my thoughts, and then I finish it up. So there's different ways you can do that. There are plenty of people who blog and use that. There's plenty of people who send out regular emails through Constant Contact or Aweber, and then also put it on LinkedIn, because usually you have different audiences there. So any and all go. There are some really early adopters who have 100,000 followers. It's crazy. It's not like that anymore. Let me tell you something. Here's the biggest nugget. When something new happens, a new feature on any of the platforms, if you can be an early adopter, that gives you the extra algorithm push. So when Facebook Live was a new thing, if you were there early on, you got lots of pushes from that. And that's kind of what happened to the newsletter on LinkedIn. Those who got early access and then started using it were the ones who really got a lot of subscribers. And it's not quite as exciting anymore now, but it is still effective. I can see in Google Analytics that my clients get traffic from LinkedIn. People are clicking on the stuff that's in the newsletter and clicking through to their blog. So I can see that it works.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah.
Very interesting. And then what about are there any AI tools that are currently your favorite?
Yeah. So I use, for the blogging and the SEO, I use, it's called Surfer SEO, like Windsurfer, Surfer SEO. And it kind of does the writing, but also does that forward and backlinking, and it's affordable. Like, if I could spend $300 to $500 a month on, SEM Rush, I would, because almost every tool that I love has now integrated AI, just so you know. Like, even Agorapulse, who I love, they have AI capabilities for scheduling content and writing content. Canva, the tool that you create images with, has now AI integrated. So almost every single tool that I was using is now using AI to upgrade their tools. So that's first and foremost. But the tool that I currently use for 3 of my clients for blogging and optimizing SEO is Surfer SEO. And I am seeing the results. I can see it in Google. Like, you could connect Google Search Console and Google Analytics and their website, and it talks to each other and it tells you exactly what to do and what tasks to do every week and how to optimize. And it takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. So it makes me look like a rock star. So like it.
That's great. That's really good. And then what about for you? You've got a live show, which I feel like is one of the smartest, like we were talking before the show even rolled, like if you're doing video, you can repurpose the audio. You're live, so there's that live component. You can create it as evergreen. Like there's just like so many, and then create social content and blogs and use your email newsletter to say like, hey, go watch the full video. Just like all of the things. Is that working for you?
It is working for me, and I am unfortunately, I'm that cobbler child without shoes. I'm not doing all the things for myself. However, I can tell you exactly what my ROI is from my live show. It's 5 new clients that I got in a span of the first 5 months I started because I was visible. And it's not from all the platforms that you think it is. It's from my Facebook personal profile.
Oh my gosh.
So I go live. I go live every week on LinkedIn, on Facebook personal, Facebook page, Twitter, and YouTube. But what's happened over the years, I'm speaking less and less on Facebook, but I have people that I'm connected have been for 13 years, right? I've been doing this for a long time. I'm one of those people, I'm still in the same field. I know a lot of people have changed and I'm still in social media. So when I started doing the live show and going live every week, every one of my friends knows somebody who owns a business. And so they're starting to see me, and now they sign up for the newsletter, and I have this strategy talks, and I have these experts, and I look like an expert, and I sound like an expert, and I have experts. And that, the 5 clients that I got last summer, right after I started this live show, were all directly connected to my link, my Facebook profile. So the visibility aspect for me is the most important part. I have that social proof. I am live every week. I have a podcast every week. I could do so much more. I could repurpose and make reels, and I could do blogs, and I've tried some of those things. I'm so busy creating content for other people that I have just decided that I'm not sure. And that's where you look at your data, and that's where you look at your money, and you go, is it worth all this extra money and effort to get this little bit of extra? And for me right now, it's not. If I wanted to scale, if I wanted to get, a bunch more, if I wanted to grow my agency, I could say, okay, I'm going to throw all that money at it. I'm going to do all those things. But right now, I'm at a really good place where that visibility helps me. I just got asked to speak at a big conference because of what I'm doing. So that for me is enough. And that is what's doing it. When I'm ready to scale, everything is ready to go scale, right? Because I have all the audio, I have all the video. I have probably 60 or 70 blogs ready to go if I wanted to and when I need to. But right now, that's not where I'm putting my focus. I'm helping my clients, and I am, the word for the year for me in 2023 is steady. Steady. Just holding the boat steady. I don't want to rock it. I don't want to do anything else. I got to keep it steady. So that's where I am. But the possibilities are incredible.
Man, that is awesome. Yeah, yep. I'm in a similar spot. I just made a little video on our private Facebook group talking about YouTube, talking about how I wish I would have started doing this YouTube channel like 4+ years ago, and I'm gonna do it. I'm saying it more and more because I'm gonna do it. I just got to get that first one done, and I'm just running into the same. There's like, I know I should be doing it. But
why are you doing it? See, and that's the thing. I always ask my clients, one of the first questions I ask them, why are you on social media? And they used to say, well, somebody told me I need to be on Pinterest because I have a restaurant. I'm like, well, that's not a good reason. Why do you want to be? What is your goal? What do you want to accomplish? And what does ROI look like for you? What do you want to get out of it? So, Ryan, people are telling you should be on YouTube. Maybe you could make money on YouTube. Are you ever going to make money enough on YouTube that's going to replace anything else you're doing? Do you like being on YouTube? If any of those questions is maybe, I don't know, then maybe you don't need to be on YouTube, right? Maybe you do something else that does make, that you like doing. I started a YouTube channel 9 years ago. I have a couple of videos that have 10,000 views. They did really well. And I'm like, why did I not stick with it? Because it wasn't my passion. I didn't like it. I didn't like doing those videos. It was a chore.
Yeah.
I like writing. I like being behind the scenes. Sure, I like the spotlight now and then, but I really like being behind the scenes and being invisible. And so I didn't stick with it because it wasn't my passion. So if you're doing it because people tell you you should, or because you're in video and you should have YouTube, then outsource that. Don't do that just because people are telling you to, because the data is going to not be there to support it long term. Yeah. And the worst thing you can do is get it started and then fizzle off like I did with that LinkedIn newsletter.
Well, that's not the worst thing. I mean, you gotta try those things. I mean, it's the same thing. And as you're, trying to find your niche, it's like, what groups do I like? What lights me up? And a lot of times you don't really know until you do it. And I know for me, I've been in front of this stinking camera for years and I love this. I mean, give me a microphone and a nice soft light and we can talk about like something about your video business, like all day long. So I've just been not channeling it in the right spot, and then I have imposter syndrome because there's video guys that I follow who their YouTube videos are amazing. I'm like, I don't have the time to do all the cool B-roll and the fancy text and all this stuff, but I just got to create. I got to start. I got to punch fear in the face and just do the thing. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm excited.
You're doing it. Okay, well that's I love it. If you're ready for it, then. Just make sure that you stay true to who you are and that the kind of video that you like and
that's good.
Do your unique template and unique take and your unique sign off and all of that. Make it yours so you're excited to do the next episode and give value. As long as you give value and people see that, then you'll be okay.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's super good advice. I remember when we first started the podcast and I was trying to find my voice, and there were a couple of shows I listened to. I'm like, okay, it's got to kind of sound like that. And then, 20, 30 episodes, I can't remember at what point, just finally felt like, oh, okay, like now I can be myself. And I learned some things from there, but like I can just be me, and that's totally fine. And so I think the same thing will apply to YouTube, and it'll be fun. So
it'll be fun.
Dorien, what's last piece of advice here for us lowly video people who are like, we don't have time, we don't have the energy, I don't even know where to get started. What's your? I mean, the LinkedIn advice I think is an amazing nugget because that costs no money, and you're saying like roughly like 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day tops. Start there. What would be maybe another action step that somebody could take that might be riding the fence of like, I'm just not sure?
So if you're thinking about creating video content and you're not sure that you're ready for it or what it should look like, in order to create content, you have to consume content. I'm a firm believer in that. So go whatever platform it is. My kids, I have teenagers, they laugh at me. They hear the jingles and they go, are you on TikTok? I'm like, no. Are you on Instagram? No. I'm watching Reels on Facebook. That's how old I am, right? But it's the people repurpose them. So wherever it is that you are, watch the Reels, the YouTube Shorts, watch the TikToks. Start looking at the content with a different lens. Start looking at why did I stop at this video? Did they say hello to me? Did they make me feel welcome? Do they look like me or do they not look like me? Are they saying something that's of value? Are they dancing? Is there anything about how long is the video? And start consuming that content and looking at what makes you happy, what makes you stop, what makes you pay attention, what makes you share, what makes you put a heart on there, and start kind of gathering that data. Because when it comes time for you to put your unique stamp on your own video, whether it's short form or long form, you're going to want to have kind of an idea of what you like. And you certainly, if you don't know what you like, you at least know what you don't like. And that comes from consuming content. So I have a profile on TikTok. I don't do anything there, but like I said, I watch the TikToks on Facebook. And the more I consume, the more I can see which people, the people that are closer to the camera, get me. So I noticed that there's a couple of people that I watch and they're really close and they're looking at me and I'm like, ooh, I have a connection with them. Of course, they have no idea who I am. But little things like that will going to help you when you get ready to start. And then the other thing to remember is everybody has that first video on YouTube. I mean, if I go to YouTube 9-10 years ago, I was like, oh, I'm leaving it up there, even though I cringe, because everybody has that first video. So on social media, that first vertical video that you're going to do, or the short story or whatever it is, just keep doing it. Keep doing it. When I started my podcast, the best advice I had from somebody was go ask 20 people to be your guest. And then probably about 12 to 15 will say yes, commit to them. And that's what you need to move forward. So when you start with this plan to go make videos or to do short form videos, lay out like 10 to 15 of them. These are all the ones, and commit to that and commit to the process, because, you know, batching is going to be easier and having a series is going to be easier. Commit to that part of the process. And once that's done, you're much more likely to stick with it because it becomes a habit. You're going to get feedback. You're going to like it. And if you just do one off, it's so easy to step away and go, that didn't work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's so good. Love it. Super grateful. This was a ton of fun. Dorien, where can people follow along with all the goodness that you're up to?
All right. So I'm mostly on LinkedIn right now these days. I stepped away from community management on Facebook, so I'm still there, but LinkedIn is my jam. Morin Media is the name of my handle on Instagram and Twitter, and on Threads. So that's the name of my company. And if you see somebody with my unique name and orange glasses, you know it's me. I'd love to connect and know that you listen to the podcast and that you're in video. And if I ever can help you with anything or watch something or give my opinion about something, I'm right there. So I'd love to connect and meet new people.
Awesome. Hey, super grateful. Really, really appreciate you. And let's do this. Let's do this again live.
Sounds great. I love it. And you need to come on my show.
Let's do it.
Talk video production strategy.
I'm in.
All right.
Awesome. Thanks, Dorien. All right, we made it to the end, but we're not at the end. I wanted to tell you too, we've opened the doors to the Onward Summit. The Onward Summit is our in-person event for corporate and commercial filmmakers. This is an intimate event. We're gonna have speakers and sessions. Starts October 1st, goes through the 4th, and we're only taking 40 seats. There are only 40 seats available, so you're gonna wanna get in early so you don't come to me later and be like, oh, Ryan, it says like, you're full. Like, can I get in? And I'm gonna be like, oh, why didn't you listen when I first started sharing? So don't delay. Like, figure it out. Take some time over the next couple of days and figure out, like, is this something that I want to do? Can this be helpful? Talk to your significant other. Talk to people in the community that have gone. Go to the website. It's studiosherpas.com/onward. You can learn more about the presenters, learn more about the format of the things. But we've got sessions during the day. We've got activities in the evening. There's so much time to connect with other people and ask all the burning questions that you've had about how are you doing this and why are you doing this? And we host this at our studio, so you can walk in and be like, oh, this is like a legit studio. He's not AI. He's really like a human. And why is he giving me a hug? Yeah, that will happen. So sorry, not sorry. Anyway, check it out. Would love to have you at the Onward Summit. Doors are open now. studiosherpas.com/onward, and you can reserve your spot by going there. That's all I got for now. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I am very, very excited to hear from you. So don't hesitate to reach out and let me know how things are going in your business. If there's something you're stuck on, it's something that I can help you with, let me know. We've got tons of podcast episodes and other resources that might prove helpful for you as you are doing this thing. Okay? All right. That's it for now. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.